Without promise, without remorse, without a single cool head, those are the expectations for tonight's race at the famed Martinsville Speedway. A half-mile track where your biggest competitor isn't necessarily the cars around you, but it could be yourself. Slick and unforgiving, you're merely one mistake away from costing yourself a chance to compete for a checkered flag. So who's it going to be? An answer we're all dying to know, and we'll soon find out come the last lap. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome you to race number 4 of Season 2 of the White Knuckle Racing League for the ever-competitive Xfinity Series, where we have short track action at the historic Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia, a track that could prove too tough to tame, as a lot of drivers have marked this track in their calendar as a race they know will prove difficult. The early part of the season has been dominated thus far by Team Hendrick Motorsports, but a new face emerged last week coming out of the JGR camp, with Masopes taking the win at Richmond this time last week. A 125-lap journey awaits us to see who will come out on top for this difficult half-mile track. I'm Tim Wells, a.k.a. Turtle Wells 73, and I'll be your voice for tonight's action here in Martinsville, Virginia. It's a beautiful night here at virtual Martinsville Speedway, and of course I'm happy to report there is a 0% chance of showers in the area through tonight's race, despite some heavy tropical weather in certain parts of our great nation. Sporadic pit cycles, a harder tire compound, and frankly, only one fast lane on the track, but that leads us to some interesting racing and some interesting points of view. Speaking of which, another point of view I'm dying to hear as I welcome in my broadcasting partner, Matt Montgomery, a.k.a. Coach Matt. And Matt, it's safe to say that you practice all week on your runs and the line you feel comfortable with, but it's very possible you'll have to adjust your racing line when you're surrounded by 20 other competitors.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you could put in 1,000 laps at this track and still not be fully prepared for race day, just because of, I mean, you have to adjust to how everybody else handles the track. Everybody has a different braking zone. Everybody takes a corner differently, and so it's going to be all about patience and may the cooler heads prevail tonight. Like you said, pit cycles are going to be sporadic. That right front tire is really the only part of the car that wears down quickly, so making sure you're managing that. I mean, loose is fast, but loose is also out of control, and so it's real important to find a balance there. That's one of the things I'm struggling with right now. I mean, I'm getting laps in as we speak, and just trying to figure out what the best way to go at this track is. But, it all comes down to how you handle traffic and what adjustments you can make to get the car to handle the way you want it to.
And right, and Matt, as a driver, what do you think the biggest challenge that Martinsville offers these drivers?
As far as challenging, I mean, traffic. I mean, you're racing the track, but you're also racing everyone around you. But I mean, you're fighting the car too. I mean, this track is nothing but challenging, especially in this game, just the way with the physics and everything and how it handles. So I don't really think there's anything easy about this track at all. I mean, some people are better here than others, but definitely a difficult track.
Right, and pit strategy, as always, will play a factor, but short pitting at short tracks often is not as beneficial due to the fact lap times simply don't vary as much as, let's say, in Atlanta would. A lot of it's based on how accurate you are in corner entry and exit, and just simply staying out of trouble. But what strategies, in your eyes, do you think will pay off today?
Well, short pitting, I don't necessarily think you'll get better lap times, but you will get a better handling race car. So if you're able to make it to the end and you pit a little bit shorter than somebody else, because a lot of what people are going to struggle with is corner exit. The car likes to almost overturn, the back end kicks out, and if you're not careful, you'll spin. So you'll get a better handling race car if you pit. The tires will have more grip, but we're not looking at drastically different lap times either. I think they'll fall off from anywhere to 2/10 to 5/10, just depending on what setups these guys have in the cars. But I think the main thing for when it comes to coming down pit road is going to be just trying to get that car to handle the way you want it to.
Right, and there's been a huge emphasis on cleaner driving, and I know that could prove difficult at a track like Martinsville. Is it safe to say this race will truly show who belongs in the series and who doesn't?
Yes and no. I mean, it's one of the issues I think we have is all it takes is one guy out of the 20 to be aggressive, right? It takes one person getting rubbed the wrong way. And then they get sent 2 or 3 times, and well, you know what? I'm going to send it now too. So it's real important that I've been talking to my guys all week. Hey, listen, we just got to get past this week. Make sure we focus on clean driving. Don't send anybody. Don't retaliate. Don't don't do anything that's going to get you in trouble, because I mean penalties have been handed out, and we saw that take place last night. So it's real important that no matter how roughed up you're getting, to try and to keep your head on your shoulders. Stay calm, be patient, and not retaliate or cause any issues on track.
Absolutely. And now, Matt, if this comes to a late restart, where do you want to be sitting? Do you want to be on the front row, or would you rather be like licking your chops somewhere else on the track?
I want to be sitting on, I would say about third, because I think the leader is going to be a little antsy in a situation like this, and they're going to overdrive it. They overdrive it, you stick your nose underneath them, and you take off. But it just, like I said, it just depends on who's up front and how hard they're going to try and drive at the corner. Because as the leader, you're not wanting to get slammed from behind. And I think as the third place car, you can kind of control that. Hopefully, you don't get sent from behind as well. I mean, we really don't need people trying to win a race with 2 laps to go from like the fifth row, but. I mean, you hope it doesn't come down to a restart. You hope we have 3 restarts tonight. Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3. That's it. And then it's green from there on out. But, like I said, you can't guarantee that. Cautions breed cautions, and we obviously want to avoid that, especially here at a short track. We want it to be green. We want it to go and get spread out to where, people are able to run their race. But, I mean, restarts are going to be chaotic, but at the same time, they're going to be extremely important. Because once you get up front, you got that clean air, you're able to take off a little bit. You don't have anybody in your way to run your lines. So it's going to be real interesting to see how this takes place.
Interesting to say the least, but I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know here are tonight's keys to victory presented by Hugger Oranges. Hugger Oranges, keep on eating. Number 1, don't let the track beat you. Obviously, Matt has already touched on that. You don't want to let the car get away from you. One mistake, one spin out could cost you the race. Number 2, run your race. Others will make mistakes. If you stay consistent, don't necessarily worry about lap times, lap after lap, but just focus on how you want to run the race. Don't spin out. You have a great chance at least coming away with the top 10. And last but not least, stay out as long as you can. A caution during the pit cycle can certainly ruin your race. So try to make those tires last. Make that fuel last. Take it easy on that right front. And it looks like qualifying has finished up. And we'll go ahead and get those results to you here. So starting in the top 10. And in the first position, Muscle Cars qualified on the pole with a 19.917 lap. Qualifying in the second spot is Mismi, who's driving for Hendrick this week after winning 2 early truck races, qualifying second, 20.063. And in the third spot, we take a look here, is Keith with a 20.142. And the fourth spot, Citrus on Twitch, 20.166, continuing his strong run early on the year. And in the fifth spot, Ski Mask Leezy, qualifying inside the top 5. We got our invites. We're just waiting for our go-ahead to join the race. And Matt, I mean, strong performances qualifying by some of your guys. I mean, Mismi stepping into that role in the 7. What do you expect out of him tonight?
I mean, Neesby's been putting in a lot of time, mostly in a truck, so he's really kind of rushed today to get some laps in. But one of the guys that I think I'm going to be focused on a lot tonight is Keith. That's a guy I enjoy racing with. He's just a good guy all around, and tonight.
And Matt, go ahead and join. Go ahead and join, by the way.
Sure thing. Oh, you're good.
All right. But Matt, make some solid points about guys to look out for. Like a guy like Keith, we haven't heard a lot about this year, but strong qualifying performance. I know some guys just fare better at short tracks than others. So a lot of racing upcoming here, right here in a second, as we wait for the loading screen and to bring you that green flag action. All right, when you get ready to start, all I have to say is put the past behind you, focus on what's in front of you, because the quest for a championship truly begins as the green flag drops here at the Bob's Wired Fencing 125 here at Martinsville. Expect some early beating and banging in the early parts of this race, as a lot of guys are just going to be bunched together. But Muscle Cars sitting on the pole, able to get a little bit of a jump here in the first couple laps. We go look a little farther in the field. The battle for second underway, and the Keith already up to second, followed by Citrus on Twitch and Mismi, who's probably stuck on the outside trying to retain position. But so far, the 7 falling back a little bit. And as you can hear, you can already tell that there's a lot of beating and banging by the sounds from the race so far. The 19 gets bumped a little bit by T-Berg as T-Berg goes underneath the 19 to take the 5th position. And a battle for second, Citrus on Twitch underneath the 99, and Meets Me will follow. Hendrick teammates trying to work together here to move up a couple spots in the running order, but Keith able to hold off Meets Me for the time being. Go back a little farther back in the field. T-Berg trying to clear the 8 car of Mr. Bindover there. And T-Berg, ever since he joined the league a couple weeks ago at Atlanta, has really flexed his muscle so far, and wheeling that 36 machine for the Roush company there in the Xfinity Series. And Bindover trying to make some noise, trying to get underneath the 36 T-Berg, unable to do so far. And last week's winner, Masopes, right behind them in the 8th spot. So far, so good, Matt. Been clean racing. Some being and banging a little bit, but overall, it looks like it's already started to spread out a little bit. At this point, it's going to be who makes the most mistakes.
Yeah, dude, we haven't had a caution flag yet, so that's better than I was expecting, just because of how tight this track can be. But I'm sitting here watching Meesme and Keith battle for 3rd spot. Looks like Keith is getting a little high in the corner, and Meesme looks like he's intentionally kind of going a little bit higher on entry and then cutting down almost like a diamond, like finding the apex and cutting down, trying to get a really good drive off. So, but while they're battling, Citrus on Twitch and Muscle Cars have taken off in 1st and 2nd.
And Citrus on Twitch so far this year, I mean, he's proven that he's pretty strong at any type of track. Albeit we haven't been to a road course yet, but as far as intermediate speedways, super speedways, and short tracks, he's been a front runner in each and every race as he tried to make a move on Muscle Cars, a battle we saw last week. We'll see if there's any hard feelings from last week. These guys duked it out for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Unfortunately, Masopes was able to take advantage and win that race last week at Richmond. Going into the corner now, and some Citrus on Twitch, taking a higher arcing line, trying to get that run, but was held up a little bit by Muscle Cars. But so far, so good for Muscle Cars, just running his line. It's extremely hard to pass, especially as these tires wear on. There's probably going to be a little boot, scoot, and boogie, and we'll see. Hopefully it stays clean throughout this race, but so far, so good from these leaders. And the 9 car taking...
You're going to pass on the outside.
Passing the outside. He knows it's tough to pass on the inside, but you can get those incredible runs if you can match that line up pretty evenly with the inside line, and he's going to make it work.
Yeah, I think what he saw right there is that Muscle Cars was obviously going to try and hug the bottom, which, as a leader, I mean, that's what you need to do. But because typically, people don't, or either they don't make the attempt or they aren't able to pass on the outside. And Citrus noticed, hey, 78 wants to hug the bottom. Let me see if I can't get my car to hug the outside. And I mean, he held it, which is, surprising, I want to say the least.
And there's 34 laps in stage number 1, 125 laps total. And we'll give you lap updates throughout the stage. But right now, Citrus on Twitch takes the lead. Muscle Cars in 2nd, followed by Meesme in the 3rd position. We go back a little further back in the field. And it looks like a battle between the 36 going on right now and Ski Mask Leezy. And Masopes joins the party as well. 21 laps to go at the line. Citrus on Twitch continues to lead. With a 54 looking to gain position on the 36. I believe this is for the 6th position.
And Meesme's caught the leaders. What if his car just comes to life a little bit later on the runs?
Let's take a look at the leaders. And Meesme at 1, 2, 3, the 9, the 78, and the 7. And take a look at Meesme. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Likes to take those higher arching lines and get that run off the corner. And so far, it's been paying off enough to catch up to the leaders. And it looks like a caution may have come out.
See if I can't scroll back here and see who's involved. The 11 of Wally has got some heavy damage.
It looks like the 20 as well.
Along with the 20, Kush Miller.
So early caution, 15 laps into stage number 1. It lasted a little longer than I thought for a track like this. But it looks like K. Schmiller had wrecked on corner exit and collected the 11 in the process. So sometimes it's just an unfortunate way it goes, Matt.
Yep, and the 90 looks like he's got some heavy damage as well. So we definitely have some two cars involved there. So I'm really hoping that we get another clean restart and these guys are able to take off and we get some more green flag laps. And I thought that was a really good start. It was unfortunate we had a caution there, but hopefully this doesn't lead to more.
At this point, Matt, you'd have to think everyone's going to pit here. I mean, I know track position is obviously key, but the fresh tires probably will pay dividends, with only so many laps left. But there's still a decent amount left here in Stage 1.
Looks like lots of cars stayed out. The 9 car all the way back to 9th or 10th position, I believe. The 18 was in the back, the 92. They've either taken 2 or none. Like I said, track position is extremely important here.
And essentially 19, 20-second lap times, I mean, you have to think it's only about 15 to go. I mean, the race, Stage 1 is going to be over in essentially 5 minutes. So if you can hold on, Emma Soaps looking for that lead. He drives a little in too deep. The 78's going to have a run coming off the corner. And the 54 trying to hold on and not wreck, but he's going to lose a couple positions. In the process, Meesme makes it 3 wide, coming in hard, doesn't make any contact with anyone. And he's got those fresh tires, so well, look out for Meesme. That's the last thing muscle cars would like to see. And the 9 car moving through the field as well.
Yeah, job position is important, but I mean, fresh tires, you're going to have more grip. And speaking of the number 19, I know you're talking about lap times there, but it looks like unfortunately the 19 of Ski Mask caught the what McLovin was calling turtles earlier. I'm not sure exactly what we want to call those, but
big crash on the backstretch involving the 9, the 18, the 19, and the 90, I believe, of TCW. So another caution is out. And I did see one car spin off the corner. I'm not sure who it was. Let's see if I can cycle through. And I believe it was the 98 of Caps who initially spun off. Everyone kind of got shuffled in the process, and more cars wrecked on the backstretch. So not exactly what you want to see, but that's sometimes it's going to happen on a restart. Guys get a little more antsy nearing the end of a stage, trying to collect those stage points.
Yeah, and stage points are huge. I think the max amount of points you can get from a race weekend is 50 if you win stage 1, stage 2 in the race. But like I said, if you struggle, in stage 3, but you did really well in stage 1 and 2, I mean, stage points are huge. And muscle cars on those worn tires get split 3 wide down the middle as the 7 and the 8.
It was an aggressive move, and muscle car shuts Meesme up there. We're 4 wide.
4 wide. Oh, God.
If they can hold on to this, that'll be impressive. But don't want none. Takes advantage. And this has a recipe for disaster. But so far, able to hold everyone's lines. But muscle cars definitely try to force the issue after Meesme came with an aggressive move. But the fresher tires, it makes sense why he would do something like that. But muscle cars retaliated and has paid the price as Meesme trying to regain position back in the second spot behind his teammate of Don't Want None.
Yeah, everybody's just bouncing off each other back here from 4th on back.
And they're able to, as long as they keep it from that car from spinning around, more power to them. And then you hear in the distance a lot of banging into the wall. But, man, this is incredible. You go back farther in the field, it's 2, 3 wide, lap after lap. About 8 laps.
Muscle car's just getting used up right now. It's falling pretty far back.
And Citrus on Twitch makes contact with the 78, 3 wide behind them. The 18 of Y'all Ain't Ready Racing trying to rebound after a slow start in the season. The 9 on the back bumper of the 54. The 54, and then Muscle Cars goes around into the wall and around. I don't know if that will bring out a caution. And Sporty Marty.
One car, probably not, but I'm just guessing Sporty, if he didn't pit earlier, or maybe he's just going to lose her setup model, lost their corner exit, and did get a hold of the nose of the 78. Didn't look intentional, but still unfortunate for him there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still a long race to go. You want to stay on the lead lap. So I'm going to go back up to the front. Meesme working on his teammate of Don't Want None, utilizing the outside line, a strategy I never really considered, mainly because I know you and I are both terrified for tomorrow's Cup race.
Oh yeah, dude. Jose said he and I are gonna be fighting for last place. I'm sure if you're struggling as much as I am, you'll be back there with us. But we'll have fun with it. This is definitely another track that I'm looking forward to. I love watching it in real life, but man, just for some reason this game I can't get a hang of it.
4 laps to go, 3 next time by. Meesme only has a couple more laps to win this stage, and he's got the inside line. The one gets into the wall a little bit. He might be able to clear him. And Meesme's going to fade up just a tiny bit. See him get that run on the outside and clear him. But Wally back into the mix as he's now in the 3rd place as these guys are fighting. A lot can happen these last couple laps. Teammates get into each other. The 1 and the 7 and the 11 cleans up and goes to the lead. Just like that.
Actually, 11 shoved it into the 1 there and shoved both the 1 and the 7 up the track. Got to be a little cleaner than that.
Only a couple laps remaining as the 11 has taken the lead from the 7 and the 1. Meesme, an impressive debut so far. Finished third in the truck race last night at Martinsville and has won the first few races of the season. I know a bounty was out on him last week. And we'll try to switch over to Wally here. And that's going to do it for the end of stage number 1. Wally takes the stage win, followed by the 7 of Meesme, the 1 of Don't Want None. So a lot of beating and banging, some questionable moves definitely to be assessed later on. Overall, I mean, within the first 34 laps, we expected maybe a caution or two. That's exactly what we saw. As a race overall, Matt, I'm not too upset at how everything went. A lot of 3-4 wide races that didn't involve any wrecks. So, I mean, at least these guys are keeping it off the wall.
Yeah, I mean, the less cautions, the better. The bumper's getting used quite a bit. I just hope it doesn't get worse than where it's at now. I mean, a bump and run here and there is one thing, but I'm really hoping that, coming stage 2 and stage 3, we get closer to the end of this, that we're not going to run into the situation to where, we get to where we're having multiple wrecks, back to back.
Absolutely, and I know Muscle Cars is currently in the 19th position after leading early on. As we go back under green, the 11 on the inside, taking the lead to start stage number 2 with the likes of T-Berg and a lot of contact, and T-Berg being super aggressive right there. It's hard to tell if he was bumped into the leader, but it is absolutely aggressive at the moment for the early stages of stage 2. Wally able to break away slightly as the 89 and 36 make contact. Don't Want None trying to pass 2 cars at once, followed by Meesme. He splits it going 3 wide. They've got to be careful, and then the 9 comes out of nowhere, and he puts Meesme up into the track and tries to split him as well. And the 1, he's going to give the 36 a tap for a little boot scoop boogie, and a crash coming out of the corner. That's the 8 of Bend Over and the 98 of Caps. So another caution early on in stage number 2. These guys are getting a little too aggressive. We're not even halfway through the race. So Matt, what are your thoughts so far? I mean, the racing started off pretty good. It's slowly starting to depreciate.
I mean, it's just important. Everyone keeps it cool, and hopefully we settle in.
I know that's a tough thing about a short track. You get bumped, you take it personally, and then you're going to try to repay them that next time by, or next opportunity. This is a track where cooler heads will prevail. Just because you get past, whether you like it or not, it's a situation where you can't let the emotions get the best of you, because that's going to result in some poor racing. As we restart here for stage number 2, T-Berg looks like he's now on the lead, followed by the 1 of Don't Want None, the 9 in the inside of the second row, followed by his teammate Meesme in the 7 car. An early battle, Citrus on Twitch, trying to get on the inside of his teammate, but the 1 of Don't Want None and the 9's going to move him up the track a little bit, try to create some room, and the 7's going to follow. So Don't Want None stuck on the outside, and when guys drive it in there like that, it's simply hard to maintain your line and speed coming off the corner. T-Berg starting to pull away just a little bit. 31 laps in this stage, 7 laps through, about 24 to go. T-Berg continues to lead since the restart, but he's got company. T-Berg is in the grass. Here comes the 9. Meesme's going to collect on the mistake, goes to the inside of the 9, trying to work his way on the inside of the 36. He's going to see what he does here. And the 9 drives in pretty hard as well and tries to get by his teammate there. And T-Berg's going to retaliate. They make it 3 wide, and the 9 goes straight back. And the 7's in the wall. Multiple cars involved throughout the wall, banging it on and off of each other. The 7's involved, the 98's involved, the 9's involved, many cars involved, too many numbers to calculate, but and it looks like some guys farther back, and then it looks like the 8 is involved once again. And Matt, this is something we were a little worried for. We know how competitive this series are, but at the same time, the competition, a lot of egos, a lot of guys who want to run well, potentially with a chance in the Cup Series. All I'm noticing is that it seems like the leaders are starting to get a little too aggressive, still only in the stage number 2, without any chance of a long run happening so far.
Yeah, I mean, we had a little bit of a long run going into stage one, and there's like stage two. We just haven't been able to get one to develop. It's real important to check up, and to not force it. But people see somebody check up, oh, we'll take advantage of that and get spots out of it. For us to get lined up and get a long green flag run, people have got to, do a little bit more, give a little less take. But people are so eager to try and enforce it 3 wide or 4 wide, in a corner get spots that it makes it really difficult to get a long green flag run out of it.
All right, and T-Bird, another battle between the 36 and the 1. It's pretty clear at this point these guys aren't the biggest fans of each other, and another caution comes out. So, I mean, to be honest, I'm not going to specifically name anyone, but I think this is a situation where captains of every single team need to be trying to reach out to these guys. Maybe they'll see their message on PSN and let them know, calm it down. This isn't, so far, I was excited for this race, especially in stage 1. The racing has slowly deteriorated. We both know that, and I'm hoping that's not going to be the case the rest of the way. So hopefully these guys can get it together. Because if we're going to have cautions lap after lap, this race is going to end in 5 minutes, and it's not going to be fun for anyone involved. That's why we run these races. That's why I volunteer to broadcast these races. And it's something that everyone needs to be involved in, and I'm not saying let someone take your position, but keep it somewhat clean. You can't just drive in the first corner and expect to not have any repercussions at the end of that. And another restart. I'll try to get a lap update as soon as I can. And another crash. 90's around. 78's around. And another caution. So I'm sure you're sharing my frustration at this point.
Oh yeah, it's the last thing you want to see in a race like this. Obviously we want a green flag. The last one to be clean, and we know it's going to be tough, but.
And the 9 car is around as well. Still no caution, despite all the contact and cars spinning around. Try to find the leaders here. Looks like the 1 car is still up front. Don't want none. In the first position. Followed by T-Berg. Masopes, last week's winner, in the 3rd spot. T-Berg gets a little loose coming out the corner. Try to find some other battles here. Me and Sporty Morty making their way back up through the field. Sporty Morty inside the 99 and inside the 19. He gets a little loose on entry, but is able to clear the 99 of Keith, who we expected to have a good race today. Been caught up in some action. And Me and Sporty Morty are duking it out right now for position. At least at the moment, it's been a pretty clean battle. Ski Mask trying to run his race. And the 11 slowly creeping on the 36 of T-Berg for that 2nd position, but Don't Want None at the moment has checked out. And the 11 really drives it up the racetrack. It's going to lose some momentum. See what happens here. So right now it's the 1, the 36, the 11, and the 54 of Masopes. And I believe the 98 of Caps Porzingis. Check how many laps we have left. The one car is leading. Should be 7 laps to go this time by. And the 11 gets around the 36, now in pursuit of the one car. Don't want none. We'll see if the 36 drives it in hard here to try to get that position back. 4 laps to go this time by. The 36 back to the bumper of the 11 car, trying to wait on a mistake to try to clear him. Has a chance right here with the 11 able to keep advantage so far. 3 laps to go. Don't want none, currently in the lead.
Yeah, I think we're looking at our longest green flag run since the first stage, which is exactly what we want to see. A little bit of bumping here and there, which is expected at Martinsville. Just I'm glad we're not seeing full-fledged, send it into, 1 or 3 and use others as brakes. So glad to see us clear it up a little bit.
And Don't Want None able to survive the carnage of stage number 2. Just needs to keep it clean for another lap as they take the white flag of stage number 2. And Don't Want None keeps it clean coming off on the backstretch now, going into turn number 3. One more corner to take advantage and get some ever important stage points, and comes off cleanly. And Don't Want None 3 will take stage number 2 here at Martinsville. And now he comes off turn number 3. So a lot of action in stage number 2, but Don't Want None takes the checkered for stage number 2, followed by, I believe, the 11 cars. Guys race to the line, try to get as many stage points as they can if they are in the top 5. Looks like the 11 finished ahead of the 36, followed by Meesme and Masopes, rounding out your top 5. So, Matt, I'm hoping they got all the poor racing out of their systems in stage 2. We can see a good stage 3 here.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping we get a long green flag run. I'm hoping we get some pit stops involved. I'm hoping we can talk strategy. I hope we see some good racing. That's what we're here for. So. Hopefully these guys have calmed down and they don't think, it's stage 3, I gotta go, and cause more incidents.
In the top 10, Don't Want None 3, Wally 14, T-Berg 22, Meesme Masopes, L77 Caps, King Shadow, Ski Mask Leezy, Keith, and in the 10th spot, running out the top 10, is Bend Over, bouncing back from an early stage wreck. Last stage. Last chance to gain some momentum for a chance to win this race. We'll see how the driving goes through here in stage number 3. So far, so good in the early parts. I don't want to jinx it. I know the 11 and 36 have been duking out all race long, and then the 7 car moves up the 36 and collects 2 positions at once if he can clear the 36 on this next turn. Don't Want None continues to lead, winning stage number 2, starting to check out a little bit. Meesme finally clears the 36. And here comes the 19 Ski Mask. We talked about him a little bit this race. He's starting to show face here in the early parts of stage number 3, trying to get that 3rd position. Don't Want None in first, Meesme in second, followed by Wally. And Ski Mask clearing the 54 and 36 for the 4th spot, as the 5th and 6th positions are duking it out as well. And Caps is joining the party for that battle for the 5th spot between the 54 and the 98 and the 36. The 36 has been stuck on the outside. He's gone from 2nd to 6th, and he's driving it really hard up the racetrack. 98 is going to take advantage. At the moment, he'll have the arc going into turn number 3 here, as we look at our battle for 6. A little side-by-side action. The 98 is going to need another clean turn here to be able to clear him. And here comes the 9 of Citrus on Twitch back into the mix as well. 3 wide, farther back in the field. Looks like Case Miller and TCW. So go back up to the front. And Meesme has taken the lead from Don't Want None. Here comes Wally and Ski Mask. So Meesme has shown the speed all race long. It has just been unable to keep the lead without other individuals getting in the back of his bumper and racing him extremely hard. So now that he's got some breathing room, this is where we might see him flex his muscle in stage number 3. Depending on how many laps, you may not even have to pit in stage number 3. And the 7 has a huge advantage at the moment. It's a battle for second. And the 11 and the 1 get back into it. And the 19 of Ski Mask takes position number 2. He's had some early season struggles. So far, so good for Mr. Ski Mask, taking second spot now with 1 in his sights. Farther back in the field, a race for a 5th. It's all botched up here. The 9 goes inside the 98. And the 36 gets in the grass. He's going to really slow down here. So there's a lot of action in front of him, not hurting him too badly. Coming down the back stretch, going into turn number 3, you see the 11, the 54 all battling for position. And Masop's able to clear the 1 for 3rd spot. And Masop's trying to make it through the carnage as well. 43 laps to go this time by. As we take a look at Meesme here and try to see the gap between 1st and 2nd.
I'd say about half a straightaway is what I'm looking at. But I think one of the main things that we've seen in this long run is that people are staying off that rumble strip or turtle or whatever people have been calling it. You stay off that, I mean, there's a lot better chance of, less wrecks occurring. As a result, typically you get stuck on that, your car goes sideways and you collect the field behind you. But I think a lot of people have worked on their entry and they've fixed that.
Right, and it looks like Meesme takes a little wider angle, rides that darker groove, and has an extreme advantage coming off the corner. He's been running a very smooth race, especially in stage 3, as Ski Mask continues to hold on to 2nd, but the rest are on their way. Masop's slowly catching up to the 19, followed by the 1 and the 11, and T-Berg, and the 1 gets way up the track, loses a lot of time, and here comes 36 of T-Berg and the 9 of Citrus on Twitch. And the 11 trying to get on the inside of the 54, unable to do so. We'll see if he drives in hard here, tries to move the 54 up the track. Unable to do so. 54 gets the launch off the corner here. And the 36 getting moved out of the way by the 9 car. As the 9 takes position, but here comes the 36, and the 36 and the 9, I don't think they like each other too much at the moment. A lot of beating and banging here. And a lot of crossovers here. 36 takes the inside, but it runs up high. The 9 takes the position away. And now working on his teammate, Don't Want None. So big battle going on for the 5th spot. The 9 runs his teammate up the track. 36 tries to get on the inside of 9, still side by side. And it looks like a caution is out. So probably our longest green flag round.
Is involved. The only car I've seen with a lot of damage. But yeah, I mean that's what we want to see, and hopefully we'll be able to see another run like that. We want it to be, just long green flag runs is the plan. Depending on how many cautions come out, we might not even look at a pit cycle here. We might just be able to make it to the end. So it just depends on. That's one thing I didn't look at was that last stage's length, and I forgot the amount of laps these guys get per tank. So
take a look with a yellow flag out. I know that's something Meesme didn't want to see, but I'm sure it's something he expected. With about 30 laps remaining in this one. And now Ski Mask with an opportunity of the season so far. I mean, with the chance to possibly jump ahead. And some guys electing not to pit. Looks like Sporty Morty elected not to pit. Or maybe potentially took 2 tires. With the 16 and the 5 and the 78 back in the top 3 with Meesme, the first car who did pit on the outside. And the 78 drives in real hard underneath the 16. And the 16 and the 5 duking it out now. And the 7 and the 78 get into a lot of contact. And that's a tough thing, Matt. Everyone's got different braking points. If you're not used to racing with somebody, you're not going to know exactly where they like to pit. Or where they like to brake. And it looks like another caution's out.
Yeah, let's put that one happened back further in the pack. But
Looks like it
yeah,
involved the
I think
18.
what we want to avoid here, because some guys they value kind of position over having fresh tires, so they'll get to the front. They'll be a little bit slower than those that have pitted, and so it's real important um, that we don't wind up getting stacked up and causing accidents. I forgot what I was going to say there. Not my day to day.
I understand. Well, King Shadow currently in the lead, but no, I get what you're saying. Guys who don't pit, they're not as fast. They're going to bottle some guys up. Guys behind them with fresher tires aren't going to have the same patience they might have had at the beginning of stage number 1 as they're trying to gain as much position as possible and try to win this race. And 16 and the 5 continue to stay out. I think they're banking on some cautions happening based on what we saw in the early parts of stage number 2. With only so many laps remaining, we'll see what strategy pays off. As we see 2 and 3 wide here, the 16 keeps it clean on the outside, trying to get a run and clear the 78. And here comes Sporty Morty trying to make a move further to retake the lead. And guys are starting to get botched up a little bit on the inside here. And it looks like this, I believe the 6 car is around. No caution yet. And
yeah, I think we just got one.
And we just got one. So the 18 might have been involved. I know the 6 definitely involved. And I know the 6, he's probably... It's just not his night. He's been involved in a lot of accidents. Nothing I've noticed of his fault so far, but not his night. And we'll see who's the leader. Sporty Morty right now is showing in front of the 5. We'll see where it marked at the time of caution. 30 laps to go. After the green flag drop, should be about 28 laps to go from here on out. And a lot of decisions to be made. I mean, with all these cautions, I mean, I'm sure the guys who haven't pitted will probably be able to make it on fuel from here on out. So 5 still in the lead. King Shadow on the lead. Sporty Morty on the outside as we go back green here at Martinsville. The 7 showing a little more muscle here on this restart. Moves the 16 out of the way. It's 3 wide. The 5 gets a huge launch away from everybody as they race for that second position. Oh, and Ski is in the wall. He gets put into the wall. Will that bring out a caution? And the 90 goes around as well. So some JGR and Ford guys for Roush and front row racing involved. The 98 goes around. A lot of guys going around. Still no caution. And it's going to stay green. Yep, and then there's the caution. So just like that, it all started with the 19 getting turned. Unsure of who, and the 98 got turned as well, and a couple of cars got involved, eventually leading to another caution, and patience truly running out for a lot of these drivers. And I think, Matt, frankly, that's something we're going to expect to see from here on out. I mean, the laps are winding down. These guys, it doesn't seem they are racing the long game of Stage 3. They're just going to try to win on the restarts, and that's why we're seeing some kind of rough restarts as soon as the green flag drops.
Yeah, and like I said, restarts are huge. I mean, we got a good clean restart. We're looking at a nice long green flag run, but people try to take way more than they should on a restart because it's nothing but the chaos. So, unfortunately, the 19 who had a strong race all day has been sent to the back. The 90 was involved. Definitely not wanted to see for those guys.
78 drives in real deep, trying to get a run on the outside. I don't miss me, a guy who probably has the fastest car, just struggling to get through traffic. 78 drives it way up the hill here, but because of the second place battle, still able to clear the 5 and the 7. And here comes the 9 back into the 4th position, clearing the 4th spot over the 11. The 7 gets in front of King Shadow on the inside as the 9 drives in as well. Battle for second really heating up, such as on Twitch, challenging for that 3rd spot. A lot of side-by-side action farther back in the field. And Ski Mask trying to get through the field, and Masopes is in the back as well, so another car that was probably involved in that last wreck. Guy we haven't heard from in a bit is T-Berg 22, trying to battle his way through traffic. And the 7 is now on the bumper of muscle cars. And the 7, the 11, 3 wide. 78 trying to hold off his competitors here as the 11 goes to the second position and the 7 falls back to fourth. But is going to keep a run on the outside, trying to at least battle back for third. And the 78 really driving up the track, overdriving, and now the 11 takes advantage. He now has the run and potentially can take away the first position away from muscle cars. The 78 is going to keep a run, but it looks like another caution has came out. And then I see the 19, the 6 car involved. The 6 cannot catch a break. And another accident has occurred late in stage number 3. Unsure what the cause of that last one was, but we'll see who the leaders are. 78 and the 11 were side by side as the caution came out. Less than 20 laps remaining in this one. I thought we were going to get a finish to the end. It started to spread out a little bit, but fortunately, some bad luck for the 19. 11 restarts in first. That's Wally 14. Muscle Cars 24 on the outside, followed by the Hendrick cars of Citrus on Twitch and the 7 of Meesme. 2 by 2 they come going into turn number 1. Sporty Morty in the 5th spot. Muscle Cars drives it up way up the track. The 11 trying to capitalize. The 78's going to have the run on the outside. Meesme gets shuffled to the back. Causes a huge pile up. No cars turned around just yet. And then there goes around the 7 car. Multiple cars involved, including the 6 once again, and that brought out another caution. Tempers are starting to flare. Impatience has officially ran out. It's every man for himself at this point, Matt.
Yeah, Meesme, I mean, we could tell he had the faster car, just got balled up in traffic, and he just got sent there going into turn 1. And so he's going to see if he'll be able to recover from that.
Unsure by whom. But I know the 9 car is now potentially in the lead. We'll see where it all scored out at the time of caution. At least at the front is the 9, the 11, the 16, and the 78. And 14 laps remaining. And it looks like the 78 is in the lead over the 11, followed by the 9 of Citrus on Twitch and the 16 of Sporty Morty. Another restart. Coming up on 10 laps to go. 78 still on the inside of the 11. It looks like Sporty Morty got shuffled out there on that restart. The 36 goes to the inside. T-Berg in the 3rd spot, battling for the lead. Muscle Cars, Wally, side by side. 11 tries to move the 78 up the track, and the 36 is right there as well. 3 wide coming out of the corner. 78 gets in the wall, holds up the 9 car, and the lead has shifted. The 36 of T-Berg now to the lead, followed by the 11. 78 and 9 are still right there, but right now T-Berg has retaken the lead with less than 10 laps to go. The 11 back up into the quarter panel of the 36, moves him up the racetrack. Textbook move there to regain the lead. And we're going to see a lot more moves like that these last few laps. 8 laps remaining this time by. 11 runs up the track a little bit, probably trying to avoid the contact inevitably from the 36. And there is some contact. 36 trying to get a run. He's going to run it in hard here. We'll see what he does here. He's going to move the 11 up the track again. These guys are driving in extremely hard. The 11 into the wall. The 9 takes the lead, and a caution is out. And it looks like the 92 of Code Dillon involved, the 89. The 89 car as well. And you hate to see it. The racing was really starting to heat up, and another caution. And it looks like, just judging from the comments, I mean, something that I saw too, looks like, the 11 did move the 36 up the track. A little payback there, but it didn't help either one of those guys out as the 9 car clearly took advantage and went straight to the lead. At this point, I would say track position is king. Unless you're farther in the back and have heavy damage, definitely stay out here. And we'll see what happens. Only a few laps remaining. Some guys did elect to pit. Wally 14 now back in the lead, followed by the 36 and the 9. 3 laps to go. 19 on the inside. He moves the 11 straight up the track. And it's chaos from here on out. 36 goes around. Multiple cars involved. If this is the white flag, that is the race. The 11 is straight, takes out the 9. I'm assuming for a payback. And caution is out. We'll see if that's the end of the race. We're unsure if that one's the white flag or not. But Matt, I can tell you one thing. I don't think I feel like interviewing anyone after this race.
Yeah, I definitely don't think we should either. It's just, people being impatient. People feel the need to retaliate, which that's one of the things I preach to my guys. Doesn't mean that they've been perfect tonight. Doesn't mean that they listened. But, and I think all the captains, though, have gone to the guys like, hey, let's keep it clean tonight. Whether you feel like you're getting ran one way or the other, if somebody, runs you up the track or races you wrong, that's what the captains are here for. We get that taken care of. We can have some penalties out, suspensions, just whatever we feel necessary. But it's, and that was not the white flag, but yeah.
Yep, we have a green-white checker.
Got to be cleaner.
9, the 11, the 8, the 54. I can tell you, I would assume the commissioner is very disappointed in this race, as am I. How it's come down these last, a lot of guys just retaliating, not racing for the win. They're just racing to piss people off. It seems like as the 4 wide coming off turn number 2, Massope's to the lead. Another crash, that should do it. And we'll see who has the lead coming on here. Oh, there's still only 2 laps to go, Matt. I suppose it'll be another green-white checkered. We'll get official word here in a second. And not sure what the conclusion of this race is, but we're just going to go ahead and stop this broadcast. Whatever happens, happens. And best of luck to the remaining racers.